Last year, there was a striking scene in Shanghai on Halloween night. A man dressed as Batman walked down the street, followed by a large group of nervous police officers. That kind of sight won't be seen this year. Recently, many young people in China have been discussing plans to spend Halloween in Shanghai. Some people have been sharing photos of their costumes, like one person who plans to dress up as a Huawei foldable phone, which is known for its high failure rate. Others are getting creative, portraying roles such as a leader making empty promises and a beaten-up worker. Some people are even preparing funny skits. In one scene, a girl dressed as a roll of toilet paper is chasing another girl dressed as a poop emoji. Unfortunately, it didn't take long for internet censors and cyber police to flag this significant event and report it to the authorities. They shut down the young people's fun plans before they even began. According to a report from Radio Free Asia, Shanghai police began ramping up security ahead of Halloween, especially in Huangpu district, enforcing strict controls over costumes and Halloween-related themes. An internal notice from the local street office in Huangpu district indicated that police had issued orders to ban all cosplayers on Halloween. Anyone seen in costume would be stopped and dealt with immediately. Ms. Ma, a resident of Huangpu district, explained, Shanghai has already issued notices banning various costumes, like bats or skeletons, anything that looks scary. The message is clear. They'll first ask people to stop, and if they don't listen, they'll enforce it. The police plan to ensure that no banned outfits appear on the streets. Additionally, both online and in-person Halloween promotions have been strictly regulated, with clear bans on the use of the word Halloween or related elements. Ms. Ma added, there's an increasing crackdown on anything ideological, but young people tend to rebel. When you tighten control, it makes them more curious. The report highlighted that the Chinese Communist Party is intensifying its control over public opinion, both online and offline. Many Western-related holidays and activities are facing stricter supervision, and the control over Halloween is a reflection of this trend. Under the CCP's tight grip on freedom of expression, it's rare for people in China to openly criticize government policies. However, on October 31st last year, brave young people used costumes to voice their dissatisfaction with the Chinese government. Young people in Shanghai gathered around areas like Zhulu Road, dressed in a variety of costumes. Some wore headpieces resembling surveillance cameras, a clear jab at the CCP's surveillance. Others dressed as battered programmers, symbolizing the struggling tech industry. One person even carried a sign with the phrase, "Eliminate enemies wherever they may be," poking fun at China's aggressive yet hollow foreign policy. Some people dressed as Winnie the Pooh dancing, while others portrayed an emperor on a parade, clear satirical jabs at Xi Jinping, who many say looks like Winnie the Pooh. With China's stock market struggling, someone carried a banner of the Shanghai Stock Index along with a bunch of leaks, a metaphor for the government exploiting small investors. Another participant dressed as Cheng Die from the film Farewell My Concubine, a character symbolizing the persecuted during the Cultural Revolution. They wore a sign that read, "Down with Cheng Die," mocking the oppressive rule of the CCP. A video showed two popular figures dressed in personal protective equipment being escorted away by police. At that time, the CCP was actively denying the existence of the strict lockdown policies, and Shanghai had been one of the most heavily locked down cities. It seemed like an attempt to erase the painful recent memories. Many participants wore pieces of blank paper on their clothing, a significant symbol from the 2022 White Paper Movement protests in Shanghai. People online were quick to praise the creativity. Art! This is pure art! They've really stepped up their game. Ordinary people always find ways to make their voices heard. This is truly artistic. There's something truly special about this photo. This deserves to go down in history. Kudos to the people of Shanghai. This is the most explosive and artistic image I've ever seen. Another commented, from now on, Halloween should be renamed the Anthology Festival. This is a nod to the famous saying by Chinese commentator Li Chengpeng, "The People's Daily cannot be read as a collection," implying that viewing CCP propaganda over time reveals its lies. The 2023 Shanghai Halloween seemed to have frightened the CCP, leading to a complete crackdown of the celebration this year. The government banned the young people's cosplay activities because it fears the truth. It can't stand people expressing their genuine thoughts, even through humor. Ironically, the CCP's own officials and propaganda departments have been engaging in their own kind of cosplay for years. Let's take a look at one of these staged performances. A video shows 3 photographers and crew members under a large red umbrella, nervously filming. Heavy rain is bizarrely pouring in from the right side. Facing the camera, a CCP official in a white shirt holding a black briefcase wobbles down a muddy dirt path. As the crew under the red umbrella films and steps back, it becomes clear that the rain is actually coming from a firefighter using a hose. The heavy downpour was staged. It's important to note that this wasn't a movie shoot. The man in the white shirt was a real official, not an actor, and they were staging a visit to rural areas in the rain. In one photo from a past visit of a Chinese premier to Dongguan, the assembly line workers were actually government officials pretending to be factory employees. A netizen questioned, "Is this how you hold a soldering iron? What are you staring at? Aren't you afraid of burning yourself?" How ridiculous has the hypocrisy in Chinese politics become? Since officials can't be elected by the people, all they care about is fooling their superiors. They're so bad at faking it that the equipment wasn't even plugged in. Another netizen commented, "The Communist Party officials are dedicated to faking everything from top to bottom. Every time Xi Jinping visits somewhere, the crowds around him are all actors. Everyone knows it's fake, yet they keep the show going. I don't have high expectations from the government, just that they don't lie. Deceiving the public is shameful." Perhaps this person was naive for believing that their request for honesty wasn't asking too much. It's difficult to define whether the various forms of CCP propaganda count as role play, because they're very serious about playing their roles. But one thing is certain, every performance arranged by the CCP is like a poorly written drama, insulting the audience's intelligence. Now, let's look at another recent example. The CCP recently held Hainan Free Trade Port Legal Week, clearly aiming to attract foreign investment. However, a Chinese lawyer revealed that during the event, they staged a performance reenacting the land redistribution to the poor, reminiscent of the communist past. Isn't this pig-headed? Another lawyer sarcastically commented that it's telling it like it is. A lawyer shared a photo on social media from the Hainan Legal Week, showing a stage performance. He captioned it, "Is this pig-headed? Are they trying to attract investment by reenacting land distribution?" The image showed a man and a woman dressed in old communist Red Army uniforms, holding microphones and leaflets. Behind them were more performers in military attire. Chat screenshots showed several lawyers mocking the performance. One wrote, "Scare tactics." Another said, "Telling it like it is." This screenshot was shared on overseas platforms, and netizens commented, "They're laying it all out for you. Don't even think about escaping. It's clear as day. If you still come to invest, don't blame us for sharpening the knife." They can't break their old habits. This is hilarious. The local investment officials must be turning green. Public information indicates that the 2024 Hainan Free Trade Port Legal Week was held from October 17th to 20th. The 4-day event included an opening ceremony, exchange meetings, concerts, photography, calligraphy exhibitions, and island tours, with some cultural performances. State-run media reported that participants included legal professionals from across mainland China, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore, and other regions. The event was guided by the Belt and Road Lawyers Alliance, with objectives like helping Hainan enterprises expand internationally and assisting foreign investors in understanding the benefits of Hainan's free trade policies. The so-called Hainan Free Trade Port is seen as another failed project by the CCP, following the Xiong'an New Area. A video circulating online shows the deserted train station with overgrown weeds outside, yet the authorities are still pouring hundreds of billions into further construction. Besides continuing their farce fooling the public, the CCP also engages in synchronized acts of intimidation. Shortly after last year's Halloween in Shanghai, the CCP began cracking down on cosplayers. Additionally, the Cyberspace Administration of China summoned executives from Douyin, Xiaohongshu, and Tencent. On November 17th last year, He Peirong, a Nanjing activist focused on youth, told Radio Free Asia that she had learned multiple young cosplayers in Shanghai were detained for over 24 hours. Their families were still unsure if the police would release them. She explained, "They live in Shanghai, and they were taken in yesterday afternoon. Several people said one of the detained was a young woman cosplaying, and some of her friends who were there taking photos were also investigated. I know these people quite well, and their families have called me. If they are indeed being detained, legal documents will be provided to their families today or tomorrow." The report also cited another media professional from Shanghai who said, "I heard that they've started detaining young cosplayers, warning them not to dress up as characters from games or anime. They've categorized them, and young people love cosplay. They regularly have these gatherings, buying costumes and wigs, but some of the characters have a satirical edge on reality. We call it Western ideological invasion of young minds, and the police want to ban them." An employee from a Beijing-based internet company revealed that on November 15th, the Cyberspace Administration summoned officials from Tencent, Xiaohongshu, and Douyin, ordering them to revise their video content management practices that violates core socialist values. The source added, "Friends at Tencent and heads from Xiaohongshu were called in. Now, the crackdown on people is just a follow-up action by the authorities." During Halloween 2023, many creative cosplays caught the police off guard, leading to a complete cancellation of the year's events. Without cosplay, Halloween simply wouldn't be Halloween. Under the CCP's control and censorship, sensitive words have piled up, making it difficult to express them in text. However, during Halloween, people used costumes to express these sensitive topics visually, which is why some people exclaimed that they saw freedom of speech last Halloween. On October 11th this year, the Cyberspace Administration and Ministry of Education launched a campaign aiming to address problems like distorted pronunciation, misused expressions, and hidden euphemisms. It seems the proliferation of subtle expressions has made the CCP feel threatened, but young people's creativity is limitless. The CCP may fear every form of expression because what they truly fear is people's thoughts. On October 13, 2022, Peng Lifa hung anti-CCP banners on Beijing's Sitong Bridge, directly stating that the root cause of Chinese people's lack of freedom and dignity is the government. This act sparked a wave of awareness among the public, marking the start of the white paper movement. The blank paper became a symbol of protest. Although nothing was written on these sheets of paper, everyone knew what was expressed. It was also a challenge to the government. Why persecute protesters who aren't saying anything in particular? The white paper movement awakened the public, not just through slogans, but also through that piece of blank paper. On Chinese Middle Road, citizens shouted together, "No dictatorship, we want democracy. No leaders, we want votes. We want human rights and freedom. Down with the Communist Party." In today's society, the atmosphere of despair can turn from disappointment to anger, from hopelessness to an outburst, in an instant. Cosplay that reflects social reality can awaken the people, and this awakening terrifies the CCP. This is why the police strictly control costumes. The intimidation and suppression of Halloween participants has not led this generation to surrender. Recently, on the Douyin platform, a gathering call appeared. If you plan to join the 2024 Shanghai Halloween Week, keep the following in mind. 1. The best dates are expected to be October 26th to 27th, from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. 2. If all goes well, the event will be centered around Julu Road. Loads of handsome guys and beautiful girls will be there, but remember to arrive early because based on last year's experience, it gets packed after dark. Faced with a nationwide call for people to flock to Shanghai for Halloween, the CCP is already on edge. Even though the police issued notices forbidding cosplay, what creative ways will these smart young people come up with to express themselves and protest this time? One can't help but wonder, will there be a Halloween without costumes? Will the CCP ultimately ban young people from going out on Halloween? Or perhaps even declare a curfew on that day? The ridiculous performances the CCP puts on might lack art and creativity, but they certainly have no limit. The Chinese say that when people meet on the street, out of fear of the oppressive ruler, they don't dare to talk, but only exchange meaningful glances. Chinese people understand that when a country reaches this point, the days of tyranny are numbered.